like to welcome you to this next episode. Today I have a special guest with me, my brother.
I don't want people knowing I'm your brother. I want
Oh
people
yeah.
knowing we're related.
He
No,
does he doesn't claim me. He doesn't want to claim me.
I'm just joking.
You know, I'm a little out there, but
Yeah.
he's a little out there too. You know, because the culture, the society has moved a little crazy. So if you're sane, then yeah, now you're out there. If you're
Yeah.
sane, you're a radical now.
Yeah. What was evil is now good is now evil.
Yes,
That
right
type
is
of
wrong, wrong is right, up is down, and
Down
lift
is
is
up.
right, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. A lot of things are going on with the world. We're kind of getting into a lot of uncharted territory. A lot of views are being put out there. A lot of narratives are being pushed that seem illogical, and now they just want to push it off as being logical. Um,
It's a war on reality, a war on logic. That's what I do believe.
I agree. Um, people, I think it's important for people to wake up and to face reality, to um, focus on important things. I think that in America, in particular, we got really too comfortable with just being complacent and
Way too complacent.
being too complacent, wanting the comforts of things. And comfort is good. After you work hard, you want to have a comfortable life, comfortable situation.
Yeah.
But I think for a man in particular, it's not good for us to be too.
No, it makes you soft, makes you lose your edge.
Exactly.
A man needs a little. He needs a little
Sharpening.
I wouldn't say he needs a little adversity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're gonna get adversity in life, but a man needs a little challenge in life.
Exactly.
You know, to keep him about his wits, to keep him on his toes.
Exactly.
You know, keep him sharp.
It would have been right if Michael Jordan got into the NBA in 1984 and it started dominating immediately, which he was dominating individually, but he wanted to dominate team-wise, and he didn't have that success for another 7 years until the bad boy Pistons were knocking him on his butt. It
was a different era back then. Back then, you had to earn your keep, literally.
Yes.
Not just in sports, but in everything. Music, you had to earn your keep. You had to be an actor.
They didn't put Michael Jackson on.
They did it.
They kept him off of MTV for the longest period of time.
You had to show that you were viable. You had to show you were something. And I hate to be one of those guys like, oh, back then was better. Now it's this. No, the world has changed because people have changed.
Exactly.
The world changed because the people have changed, and
what we've allowed to change, we've allowed that change to happen instead of back in the day. I think you're exactly right. It's real easy for us to get up here and say, well, back in the day, these were better. They were more challenging, and it made you appreciate things more. It was less comfortability then.
Yes.
I think when you have less comfortability, when you have just a couple of sticks and stones to work with, you become more innovative. Once you have all this technology, it can naturally makes you more complacent, makes you more reliant on things that you, instead of using your brain, using your hands, you're more apt to use other technological means, take away from you.
And technology becomes a crutch as opposed to technology being a useful tool. Technology becomes a crutch, and it ultimately is going to weaken you overall. Now, me and my brother Eric, we're starting up Off the Edge podcast. OTE podcast. We're getting this going. We got our format down. I'm going to share my knowledge. You're going to share his knowledge. We're going to get this going. So if you hear this, I'm going to have a link down below. You can go over, check that out. Give them a like. Give them some love. Check it out. Buy our shirts. We're going to have some shirts for sale.
We about to do it real big.
We're going to do it all. We're going to do it all.
We're doing it real big because it's important for us to get our message out. I believe that our message is very unique. And coming from where we came from, I think people will be able to naturally gravitate to us. We're just two normal people, two normal guys that want to help people and just give them a sense of hope, understanding. Hopefully, this podcast will be dealing with some serious things, but it will also have some lighthearted moments too as well. I think a lot of moments that people can gravitate to and understand as well. So
that is a basic plan. And now just a little bit about you, Eric. Your interests. Would you?
I'm interested in just self improvement, I guess. I like to work out. I just recently kicked the habit of 40, or no, I would say a 35-year habit of playing video games. I don't know how to feel about that right now.
Oh, you didn't tell me. So I have noticed that you stopped being a gamer.
I think I
had to put. I put the sticks down when gamer became like a cultural phenomenon. I had to put the sticks down because it made video games lame, and plus, I'm not into all these multiplayer, these online shooter games online. I don't want to talk to these strangers when I play a game. I want to be in a room with the dude. We got the controllers. We're going heads against them. That's all I want to do.
I agree. That's how we used to do it back in the day. There'd probably be a segment that we have to implement like back in the day. You know,
that's just more fun to me. I don't like it, and I don't like how it gets to a certain point where I know it's myself. If I were to play the game, I'd say, man, I could have been doing something else.
Yeah.
You know, I could have been doing something else.
I never really thought like that. I used to play Madden a lot. I got into Madden when I was, what was that, like when I was about 20 or something like that. It's really, wanted to find some competition. When we were younger, we used to play sports games, and we used to really compete hard on that. Any game, really, sports games, fighting games, all those types of games.
Well, games were fun back then too, though. Games are really fun, but you go through different phases in life where you're into different things, and it's natural. If you're having growth as a person, there's some things that are going to fall to the wayside. Okay, to pick up new habits, new hobbies, something else has to go. And to me, it's more productive rather than having games or going out to the club or whatever.
Do they even still have clubs? I don't think
they do. And be surprised. You have people our age going to clubs. A 40-year-old man don't have no business in no club. You'll see that. I work with some guys that, yo, Joe, you want to go to the club?
Well, if he's a high value,
I told him I'm 40.
If he's a high value man, he gonna, he try to look for his high value woman.
She's not at the club. She's not at the club. She's not at the club. High value women are not at the club. Because with the club you're gonna spend too much money on drinks. You might fight. That's all they talk about. Like, I can't go to no club with nobody. I got better things. I'd rather use my time on my riding, podcast.
Oh, you're what they call a lame.
Yes.
You want the.
Gladly. Guess what? Lames don't get locked up. Lames don't get child support. Lames don't get in car accidents.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, you're right. Some things have fallen by the wayside, and try and pick up better habits, just to advance my life, because I want to be someone. I'm married, and I also have a daughter, so I want to be someone that is dependable in every sense of the word as a man, but especially as an African American man. I want someone to be able to look at me and say, hey, I like who he is. I want to not follow my footsteps, but I believe that he's a role model in some way. So even though I like to connect through video games and to some of the younger generation, I know that can all be what a relationship is built on, just video games. Exactly. Especially some of these games today. I'm not into shooters or anything like that. I'm not in really the wild video games.
To me, I'm not lame. It's like the games got lame.
Yeah. That's what I say. I say to make myself feel better.
The world got lame.
It's not me. It's that. It's them.
Now, so you said you checked out some of my past episodes.
Yes,
what do you think of the black hole? What do you think of the black hole?
The black hole is that. Once you go in, I don't know if you want to really come out. You're not gonna come out the same way. I say that about the black hole. You gonna come out a changed woman or changed man?
As you should. As you should.
uh, some of the highlights I found, and I believe I viewed every video, but some of the ones that in particular stood out was your colorism, that your preferences and your I say color. I'm just joking.
Well, in a way, it kind of is.
It is a little.
It is
It
psychoanalysis.
is, but I thought you brought a lot of passion and a lot of zeal about you know skin color, some of the things that we as African American people have kind of dealt with throughout our time in America and throughout the world, and just your affinity for Black women, not wanting to alter themselves to try to fit into a certain space.
Yeah, there's no need to. It's like what you're born with, what you got. Make it the best you can.
Exactly.
You got to accept yourself, and that's it. No one else has to accept you. Accept yourself. Everything else will fall into place. That's what I do believe. I believe that men should be responsible for not only just for themselves. For one, you got to be responsible for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Responsible for your loved ones.
Yes.
And take responsibility in the greater world. Men must do that. And I think a lot of the problems in our world are because men stop taking responsibility for things.
Yeah, it's just easy to let either the woman have it or take over responsibility. Like one thing I talked about with men that are usually younger than me is that, especially when they first get married, I know it's really easy. Me, I'm a hands-on type of person and hands-on type of dad. I like to know what my daughter's doing. I like to be involved in her life, not to the point that I'm smothering her or trying to cultivate some sort of codependent relationship, because I want her to be independent. I think independence is important, but I want her to know that I'm her father. I want her to know that I'm there and I love her, but she has to have responsibility. She has to have maturity. And one thing I know is easy for men to, when they get married, for men to like give the reins of the child rearing to the woman. That's a really easy thing. You see it throughout our society as men are kind of being pushed to the side and being subjugated to a type of idea to where the man's just useful for this.
Exactly.
For this and that.
Is that certain archetypes been portrayed for decades?
Yeah, exactly,
and
yes.
you got generations of men that were not involved. Let's say this. I'll compare this. Let's say Leave It to Beaver, right? Remember Leave It to Beaver?
Oh yeah, Ward Cleaver.
That Ward Cleaver, he dropped knowledge. Mm-hmm. He was always there to sit him down and set the beaver straight. You have that. You had that put out there.
The beef.
You got the beef. They set the beef straight. You set them down and talk to them.
Yeah.
You go to, I'll use now Simpsons is a cartoon, but you said to that where the father's role is just kind of to be there.
Yeah.
Work. And you have throughout the 90s, you see that over and over again.
Yeah.
The dad's just there, work. He's not really there to actually take a role in the children.
Yeah.
Thus the mother gets overwhelmed, the mother nags and, runs around her pot, chasing them,
Yeah.
And the man tries to escape from them. And it's a weird archetype, but in reality, I think we should be more like Ward Cleaver.
Yeah.
Take an active role in the rearing of the children.
Yes, I totally,
and the guidance of the family. You got to guide your family.
It's the old song "Family Reunion" by the OJs that, at the end of that song, Eddie Levert says he has a whole spiel about, if fathers of the world would take responsibility and be fathers, then we would have a great society, a better society. Because, like it or not, being a father is being the head of the household. You have to take responsibility of the things that go right, go wrong, the good, the bad, the not so pretty, all these things.
Exactly.
And you have to take responsibility. And it's really it's a difficult thing but it's something that a man is born capable of doing.
That's our role.
And
that's our role.
Even for another example, Ward Cleaver, I would say Heathcliff Huxtable. You know,
Yep.
I think we do. You know, this may not be you know, popular, but we do look at the Cosby Show in our home,
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter's been looking at that show along with Full House and a lot of 80s and 90s shows that we grew up at when we were younger.
Yeah.
She views those things because I think it gives you know, her generation, her in particular, a guide of how a father should be, how a family should be structured.
Exactly.
But one in particular, you know, I like the Cosby Show because it shows a two-parent household, but it also shows, and if you look at it, Heathcliff Huxtable, yes, he is a doctor, he's working, but guess what? He does manly type things. Like, he likes to work on the house. Like, he could get, really, you could look at it as, you know, he makes so much money, he could get someone to do this.
Yeah.
He could get someone to do that. He could get someone to do that. He could, you know, he could leave Claire to watch and take care of the kids, but he doesn't. He is trying to work on his house, have a full-time job.
Make sandwiches. He makes his sandwiches.
Yeah, makes his hoagies. You know, he wants to be, even with his education and his prestige, he still believes that's important to be a man.
Well, and a man, like
a responsible man.
A man actually multifaceted. See,
Yeah,
a lot of people, when they think about manhood, they get one-dimensional about it. Being a man is this. Being a man is that. No, it's a lot of different facets.
Yes.
There's a lot of different hats you have to play as.
You have to be dynamic.
Wear as a man.
You have to be dynamic.
There you go. You have to be dynamic. Well, that's about it for this. Okay. We got some other stuff to get to. Stay tuned. Okay.